Hey guys, it's Tara P here. So we're going to do a foam rolling series. We're going to do two, one for shoulders and one for hips. They're not going to be any more than 15 minutes. I know you guys are busy and you have a lot to do. So you will want a foam roller, you'll want a long one. So if you have one that's cut in half, it's going to be a little challenging to do some of these poses. You'll be able to do some of them, but not all of them. So if you have a long one, great. If not, maybe you can order one. They are all different as far as color and texture and intensity goes. So we're actually going to start with it horizontal. So we're going to lay down, and the easiest way is first make sure that your shirt is either up or tucked in, and that you don't have any loose hair. You will foam roll that if you've never done this before. So I like to start with it in the middle of our back. So we're going to make sure it's not too low by any means. Now I can use my hands beside me or down beside my hips to help lift me up. And then I can start to roll towards the back of my head, not coming any higher than my shoulders. If I want a little more intensity, I can interlace the hands behind my head, and then using my heels and my hips and moving forward, again, even if my hips are down, I can slide the glutes. And so I'm going from right underneath my shoulders or the bottom of my ribs to the top edge where the shoulders are, not onto my neck whatsoever. And I'm just going to give this nice little moving forward and back. Now a key to foam rolling is you want to go really slow. The slower the better. We're stretching out that fascia, which is kind of like these spider webs in between the muscles. So the slower we go, the more we stretch that out. It's not going to be uncommon if some crackling or popping happens. And sometimes as I go through the middle of my shoulder blades, I'll draw my elbows towards one another and just kind of focus on making my spine longer. It's what it feels like to me. And just again, slow back and forth. Make sure you're breathing. A lot of times on those exhale outs is when I get those pops, those releases. Good, few more. Remember, we are not rolling on our low back whatsoever here. And then after a few times, I'll get to a point right in the middle of my shoulder blades. Think right where your bra strap would be. And then I'm gonna rock a little right to left. And again, if this is too intense, I'm just gonna simply set my hips down. And again, there's always a little kind of popping or moving here. So if that happens, that's okay. Just keep breathing into it. Again, if those hips are lifted, it's just going to be a little bit more intense. Now, the next time we roll onto our left side, we're going to hold there. We're not on the complete left side of our body, on the side of the breast tissue, but we're just right beside it. And then we're just going to roll a little forward and up and back. And you're going to massage kind of the back of that armpit, some of those lymph nodes, and underneath that left shoulder. Now, you can play around with this, and if you want to hang out someplace, you could just put on your weight there for a moment. You will find that you'll kind of move on your mat, so sometimes you have to grab that foam roller and readjust so you don't roll off the edge. And just being aware of what this left side is bringing for you here. And then we'll just stay a few more breaths. So again, this is a lot about self-exploration. So you just kind of have to move your body. And sometimes I'll just move and see what feels good, letting my right elbow draw or trace up to the ceiling and back down. Lots of different things to play with here. And then we'll just come back to center between the shoulder blades, and we'll take it all the way over to the right. So again, we're finding that same rocking or foaming back and forth, but not fast. And again, we're not all the way forward putting pressure, but more kind of on the side and behind us. If you feel a spot that brings a lot of tension, right, you want to really learn to breathe into it. By holding there and putting pressure on it, we can let some of that go.
Noticing that the sides will be different, especially if you tend to sleep on one side. Whatever hand you write with that's dominant, that will be a difference as well. And just evening it out, so a few more seconds or a minute or so on this side. Awesome. And then slowly bringing yourself back to center. So we're going to keep our feet firmly planted. If you had a block or a pillow, you could place it under your head here. But I want you to get your foam roller kind of right at the top of your shoulder blades, right underneath your shoulders. And then as you have your hands support your head, just start to lean back. Your head probably shouldn't be touching the floor here. And you're going to take a nice deep breath in. You'll feel your lungs expand out to the right and left sides of the room. And as you exhale, let it go. You could do an open mouth or a closed mouth breath here. Again, inhale. Exhale. Your neck is nice and free. It's not on that foam roller whatsoever. You can gently rock your head side to side. Take one more breath in here. Exhale. With a little tuck of your chin to your chest, roll down on that foam roller about 1/2 inch. And then again, let your head start to drop back. So we're going into these nice back bends. We're working on our breath, expanding the diaphragm. Inhaling. Exhaling. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more. Inhale. Exhale. Pull the belly and tuck your chin. Let your head come up. 1 more time. Roll down another 1/2 inch or 1 inch. Again, you're getting close to the middle of your shoulder blades, or between the middle of the shoulder blades. Drop your head back. Now, you may be coming close to touching the floor. You can always release your hands if your head is comfortably resting. Take a big breath in. Exhale. Again, breathe in. Breathe out. Really feel the back of the diaphragm. Inhale into it. Exhale. Tuck your chin to the chest. Roll down 1 more inch. You shouldn't be at the bottom of the ribs, just right above it, feeling nice and supported as you lean your head back. Last breaths here. Inhale. Exhale. If this is too low, we don't want to be on our kidneys. If it feels any discomfort, we'll just pull or bring the foam roller closer to our head, the back of our head. Taking 1 more breath in here. Exhaling. 1 more time with your hands. Helpfully bring your head up, your chin tucked slightly. Release your left arm, forearm, onto the foam roller, followed by that right arm. And then just using that, start to lift yourself up nice and slow. So it's kind of nice just to sit with that. Maybe move your shoulders around. Maybe rocking the head out in gentle circles, either ear to ear or full circles. Okay, so after we finished up those neck rolls, just taking a moment, see how you feel, a little bit more open in your body. And now we're going to work with opening up the shoulders a little bit more and freeing up some space or tension in this upper part of the body, right? A lot of our everyday tension is in the shoulders and the neck.
These are great, especially if you golf, tennis, anything that might be one-sided, any rotator cuff issues. Now, if for some reason the movement or the mobility becomes an issue, instead of keeping your arm straight, you'll simply put a bend to your elbow. So again, just remember, if the arm is way too intense or painful straight, we'll put a bend to the elbow. Now we're going to take our foam roller and actually flip it so that it's long or vertical. And this is again why we need that long foam roller as compared to the short one. So the easiest way is to start to hold onto it, and you're going to sit onto it. And then you're going to bend your knees, keeping your feet on the floor for security. You'll shift all the way down to the end. With your hands beside you, you'll slowly even scoot your tailbone down more so that when you come down, your whole body is supported. Now you'll see I actually have a little bit of space. I'm not very tall, but for the most part, everyone should fit here. We're gonna keep our feet down the whole time. So we're gonna start again going nice and slow, and I like to do between 4 to 6 reps one way and then the other. So we'll just do 4. Now I'm gonna keep my gaze up to the ceiling. This is important. And just to start to warm up first, we'll take our arms out beside us, palms open. And like we were beautiful eagles or had wings, we're gonna start to reach the arms up and then cross one another as if we were giving ourselves a big hug. And so every time we open up, we want to reach those arms, palms open, as wide as part as possible. And every time we come in, we're going to cross one arm on top of the other. So we're doing right and then left. And again, you might feel some crackly popping happening, that's okay. You might be restricted movement and your elbows just bend a little. And then we might just tap, right? Again, this is going to look different for each and every one of us, depending on what we're working with in our body. I find that as I do these exercises, I get like a nice slow internal heat or building up, but not some major like pop or release, maybe more like a lot of small ones or some spaces where I just want to hold there. So we'll do one more of these going each side, making sure we even it out right to left. And then we'll release the arms beside you. Now I'm going to demo with the right hand. So my left hand is just going to relax beside me. This is what it looks like, just so I have some stability. If I need more stability, the farther out I'm going to go. Now starting with my right hand, I am going to start with it down, palm by my hip. And again, this is about extension and going nice and slow. So I'm going to turn my thumb up to the ceiling. I'm going to reach towards my right heel. And then slowly reaching away from me, I'm going to start to reach my fingertips. They're going to brush the ceiling. Now I'm going to reach as far back behind me, and this is where I'm going to turn my palm open to the ceiling, and then I'm going to let it touch the floor or get as close to the floor as possible. It may not touch, that's okay. I'm going to reach away from me, and then I'm going to snow angel or start to sweep it out to the right side. Again, my hand might be on the wood floor, or it might be hovering and nowhere near it. Arm could be straight or bent. And then I'm going to circle it right back to my hip where I started. I'm going to reach for that heel, going nice and slow. Fingertips are going to brush the ceiling as I extend, reach it back. Keep reaching that arm behind you. Beautiful. Exhale, we're sweeping it out to the side. Again, inhale that extension, beautiful reach, reaching as far away from you as possible. Exhale, sweeping it out to the side. One more just like this. Inhale, reach for it. Nice, you guys. It's a nice place to close your eyes, give yourself a break if you're doing it after work, right? All that staring at screens or computers all day. And we're simply going the opposite direction. So as we exhale, releasing that right hand by the right heel. Palm is up. Now the palm is going to flip open as we reach it out to the side. Remember, as far away from us as possible, and then reaching it back towards your head. Reaching away, inhale, starting to let the fingertips come up, brush the ceiling.
And then as we exhale, reaching for the toes, palm presses open and down. Inhaling out to the side. Moving with that slow breath. And exhale, letting it sweep the ceiling. One side is going to give you different feelings or results in movement or mobility than the other. That's okay. That's why we're doing both the same amount of times and at the same pace. That's important. Good, last one. Again, I'm starting to feel that nice kind of heat within my right shoulder here. And we have one more variation in this series that we'll do. Obviously, after we've done the right side, you would move on to the left side. You can do one versus the other, or doing all on one side at the same time. So this time you're gonna bend your elbows. So in the sky or from the bird's eye view, it would look like this. And with the palm open, my elbows bent, we're gonna get a little deeper into the top of this pectoral here. So again, movement or range of motion will be different for all of us. We're gonna squeeze with the elbow and bent in towards our waistline. You're gonna feel a stretch. My right hand is lifted off the floor. I'm gonna try to press it down, but again, it may not happen. And then keeping my elbow bent, this is key. I'm just gonna start to sweep the right hand behind me as if I could tap an imaginary something behind me, or just put my hand behind that foam roller. So again, I'm gonna squeeze, my elbows bent the whole time. I'm gonna pull elbow into waistline. And then I'm gonna bent elbow, slide my fingertips to tap as if behind my head. So nice, pulling in. And exhale, releasing it back behind you. We'll do just a few more of these. And remember, this is your practice, so at any point you get to a spot and you're like, I just need to stay there, then stay. Breathe into that space or spaces, especially once you're feeling that stretch. This is one of those spots for me where the top of my right pectoral is really feeling something, so I'm gonna hang out here for a few breaths. I'm gonna let my hand naturally just start to drop heavier towards the floor as I open up. And we'll take just one or two more. Now slowly when you finish, you're gonna have that left hand already beside your left hip. Just straighten your left arm as much as you can beside you, the forearms resting down. And then bring the right arm down and let its forearms rest. And you should be able to feel that that right arm is like a few fingertips longer than the left, as you just find that natural opening side to side. When you're ready, you're gonna move on and finish the left side on your own. The easy way to come out of this is keeping those hands down beside you, using your hands to slowly, one at a time, lift you up, and then sliding off that foam roller. So anyways, I hope you feel a little bit better working out that shoulders, upper neck area part of the body. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Tara P, and we look forward to seeing you next time.